So today on the Accounting for Our Community podcast, we have Megan Tregunno, CEO of the Burlington Foundation. Welcome, Megan.
Thanks, Brittany. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. So a little bit about Megan. Megan joined the foundation in January of 2023, so just this year. And Megan has held leadership roles in both the community and healthcare and philanthropy for the last 2 decades, with a special focus on women's health, research, and mental health. Megan has led organizations and teams through periods of transformational growth and championed the missions behind of some of Canada's most iconic charitable organizations, such as Women's College Hospital Foundation. Megan holds a certified fundraising executive designation and has been celebrated for her leadership contributions to the philanthropic sector through the Association of Healthcare Philanthropy. Megan is a longtime Burlington resident, where she and her family currently reside and are actively engaged. So can you tell us a little bit about the Burlington Foundation?
Sure. Thanks for having us, Brittany. I'm really grateful to be here. We are Burlington's foundation. We are a community foundation that was established by residents of Burlington for Burlington. So we are part of Community Foundations of Canada, which is comprised of over 200 community foundations across Canada. And so our purpose is to address local needs in our community and to make grants across the community. So we're dispersing funds across the community to help advance social progress and change in our own community of Burlington. So we work with fund holders, which are donors in our community, who are passionate about different areas of the community, and they establish special endowment funds, which means they're funds that are in perpetuity. So they're for the community forever, and we help disperse grants every year, every day, but then our fund holders have very specific purposes and areas of interest that they give throughout the community. Another really important aspect of what we do is we convene leaders in the community for greater collaboration, so that we can come together and address the vital, unique needs of our community and work collaboratively towards change and solutions.
That's great. So you kind of explained how the foundation came into existence, and the inspiration was really driven by people, by our community, and this need to have a foundation kind of manage and oversees this funds. Is that correct?
That's right. So as I mentioned, we are one of 200 community foundations across Canada. Our sister community foundation in Hamilton is where our idea was born for Burlington. Was a number of Burlington residents that were involved with the Hamilton Community Foundation. They said, wow, Burlington's unique. We have our own unique needs and issues to address as a community. We should establish our own community foundation. So it was really the vision and the courage of 3 individuals in particular, families, 3 individual families in our community that came together to start the foundation over 24 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing. So what are some of the key initiatives and programs that the Burlington Foundation is involved in?
So as I mentioned, we make grants. So we're dispersing funding. We're a partner in the community. Every year, every fall, we disperse community grants. So we invite charitable partners all across the community or organizations supporting Burlington residents to apply for funding. So we disperse those funds to a variety of different areas in the community, such as mental health, houselessness, poverty, housing, youth, aging seniors, quite a range of areas. And then also we work with our fund holders to help inform and educate them on different areas of the community that they may choose to support. So we have over 115 funds that we manage and steward. Those are all pooled into what we call a community endowment. So all of those funds are pooled together, and then the income that's earned off of those funds every year get to be dispersed back out into the community. So those are 2 of the big ways that we make an impact in the community through that grant making. But then I know we had the chance to meet through one of our recent community conversations. This was something we started in early this year when I arrived at the foundation, as a way to engage the community on more of a grassroots level, to bring donors, fund holders, charitable partners, corporate partners like SB Partners to come together and hear about and share in a brave and safe space what are the challenges and issues that are in front of our community today. So we can all hear together and really break down the power imbalance between some of those structures of funder, recipient, corporate partner. How can we come together and talk about the issues that are really affecting us today, especially post-COVID? Yes. So that's a role that we play in convening folks together in the community and then actioning solutions that are needed to address some of these challenges.
Yes, and I love that community connection discussion, because it was just so revealing when you're hearing from different people within the community, people, like as you mentioned, not-for-profit leaders, corporate, and hearing what the different needs are, because even though we're in this community and we live it, we don't always see what they're seeing, being on the front lines and working, if it's through the food bank or on the library, and just seeing, some of the inequities that are happening. Like you think of Burlington, you think of a very prosperous city. You don't think that there's poverty. You don't think that there's needs for social services sometimes, but yet, in that conversation alone, I was just shocked by how much need there really is.
That's right, and there's a lot that's shifting and changing in our community, and that's one of the areas that we really pride ourselves as a community foundation, is being flexible and nimble to evolve with the needs of a community. So we work with individuals, families, and corporations to help people establish what their visions are for change in the community, and then find creative tools and ways to approach how they can go about creating some of that change. But we need to be as agile and nimble as the community is. So hearing those firsthand insights are a really important part of our mission and mandate.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say some of the trends and areas of need are currently in our community?
Yeah, well, certainly we've seen an overwhelming need in the area of mental health, our young people, substance use, and our aging population. We have a really interesting mix of generations in our community. I think it's one of the aspects that I love so much about this community is the wisdom from our aging population, but the vision and courage of our young people, and that intersection of those two generations. That's really quite such an important part of the fabric of Burlington. So those are some of the issues that are really exacerbated from COVID. I think they've already existed, but there was such a spotlight on the intersection of mental health and social justice in our community. I'm a Burlington lifelong resident, born and raised in this amazing community, but I've also seen it evolve and the need for it to evolve, and I think we're at a really important intersection where we as a community foundation need to engage and inform our residents and our community of what are those needs in our community. It's not, not in my backyard where these things aren't happening. We're seeing an increase in substance use. I was speaking with our partners at Canadian Mental Health Association of Halton recently, who shared that substance use is up 40% in both Burlington and Oakville post-COVID, but it may not be seen or talked about, but the stats are there and we know that people are impacted. So how can we continue talking about the importance of mental health and what good mental health looks like, and then be able to share the resources that are available in our community, and then on the other side, how people can support those organizations doing the work to provide services and supports in the area of mental health.
Yes, yeah, no. SB Partners actually did a $25,000 sponsorship to Joseph Brand Hospital Foundation this year towards their mental health program, because when we were speaking with the hospital, that was the need. Absolutely. The need is we need support with this. We don't, not any area of the hospital, but mental health. We're trying to, expand. They're trying to redevelop like that part of the hospital, and it really was exacerbated through COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So tell me, how can businesses get involved with the foundation? What's that process look like?
Yeah, sure. Good question. Well, I think SB is a great partner example of how you can get involved. So there are a number of different ways, but I would suggest the best way is just to reach out and contact us first. There are lots of different ways that we can work with corporations to either support you in designing a giving program or that's in alignment with your own corporate social responsibilities and values and unique to your employee base. But one of the ways is supporting our community granting, which happens every fall. So that next round of granting is coming up in September. And it's a great way for us to be able to respond to emerging needs in the community. So unrestricted giving as opposed to highly restricted, which means it can only be given to a certain purpose, right, or a certain area of the community. But there is such a need in our broader sector, yes, in Burlington, but in our sector of nonprofit, for unrestricted funding, because organizations have been impacted so disproportionately from COVID that they need support for their operations, for their infrastructure, to support their staff well, to put programs and services in place that they may not have even the capacity to respond to a grant, right, to apply for a grant, but they need unrestricted funding for other things. So that's certainly one great area and an immediate opportunity coming up in the fall. Another neat opportunity is as I mentioned, that SB Partners has done, is create a corporate fund. So we have many corporate partners in the community that establish an endowment fund, which means it's a gift in perpetuity for the community. And so it's a way for them to engage their employees and their stakeholders in their corporate vision and mission around community giving. So establishing that means that you start with an opening amount, and you can name the fund, whatever you like to call it, whether it's tied to the company name, whether it's around a special purpose or mission. And then we can help you build out a strategy of how do you want to grow and nurture the fund over time? What do you want to do in 3 years and 5 years and 10 years with the fund? How can you involve your employees in annual decision making of how that income earned off of the fund gets spent every year? So that's a more of a long-term strategy where we have many corporate partners will support on an annual basis, support our community granting, but then think long-term, how can we have a meaningful impact? And it can also then be tied into employee recruitment and a way to demonstrate their values in alignment with the community in a very purposeful, intentional way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, at SB Partners, obviously our tagline is accounting for community. Community is very much tied into our core values. And the endowment that you're speaking to is the SB Partners Scholarship Fund. So we actually changed our process this year, where in the past we would reach out to the schools and the schools would select the recipient of the scholarship, where this year students could actually apply and teachers could nominate students. And it was great. We saw a lot of engagement that way. We had a number of applications come in from both students and from teachers nominating their students, which was really, really cool because they all had video submissions, and it was just really nice to see these students and these people be so passionate about their post-secondary education. So we appreciate the support that the foundation provides and that guidance and stewardship to ensure that our fund is going in the right way and where the community needs it.
Yeah, I think it's a great example that what you've mentioned, Brittany, is how SB then could take your vision and your own engagement with staff to build out what does that scholarship look like, and how do you want to partner with others in the community to make it happen? So that's what's so unique about partnering with the Community Foundation, is it's completely independent. It's however you would like to approach it. And so we really have admired the approach that SB Partners has taken, which is engaging the community, engaging your employees, and really building a strategy around your decision making for scholarships.
Yeah, no, thank you. Our partners and our team and the firm as itself, like the culture here is just, it is very much about giving back and coming together, and we understand that we do well when the community does well. So the more that we give out, the more we see everyone else doing well, is the better business for us as well, right? So I love that our partners really champion that and lead by example as both business and community leaders. Looking ahead, what is the vision for the Burlington Foundation, and can you share with me some of your long-term goals?
Sure. Well, I'm certainly really proud to be part of the foundation at this time, at this moment in history. We really aspire that we have an informed and engaged community, right, that is all engaged in philanthropy and understanding that engaging with their community foundation is accessible to everybody. It's not for wealthy individuals that want to establish a fund. This is about community. This is about everybody being able to be part of change in our community. And so we aspire that we have a community where everybody belongs, where there's a sense of belonging for everyone, and that if everybody is taken care of, that's our pride point as a community, that we are one of the best cities in the country. But why? Because we take care of each other. And here's all the different ways that we do that. So it's really important for me and our vision forward as a foundation that we're nimble. And we're investing in our own growth to ensure that we are able to provide the community with the tools and resources they need to be part of change. And so whether that is giving to an established fund that we have already, like our mental wellness fund, which anybody can contribute to, which is part of our annual granting, but it is specifically towards organizations leading change in mental health. You don't need to establish your own fund to have an impact in the community. You can join a family, a corporation, anybody that has an established fund and be part of that change. Also volunteerism is a big part of what we do. We are led by a volunteer board of directors and volunteer opportunities throughout the organization. I just encourage you to reach out and contact us, contact myself or our team, and learn about some of the ways that you might like to get involved.
Where can people find you?
Sure.
What's the best way to contact you?
Sure. I think if you first have a look at our website, which is burlingtonfoundation.org, is a great place to start. You can find our team's contact information. Please call me or email me. You'll find my contact information there. You can have a look at us on Instagram, Burlington Foundation, and those would be great places to start. So check us out there and be in touch, and let's just start by having a conversation.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Megan.
Thanks, Brittany.